Right, fantastic. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So this would be the Rising Sun campaign. The single-player campaign I started some time ago, and as I did promise, I will continue this. Now, it's funny, actually. An interesting situation I'm in now, really. It's like, the series is definitely outclassed by the play-by-email game I'm doing with Historical Gamer. So it's going to be rather intriguing to see what I can do by the skills, well, the actual knowledge that I've learned through that preparation and through that play-by-email, and see if we can actually bring something to this campaign once more. At the end of the day, I don't want to give up on it. I know a lot of you guys have followed for a long time, and that's a considerable amount of time, so I think I owe it to you guys as well. So, we'll see what we can do here. Now, I have been taking a look at a few things. For example, I did start to enlarge the actual engine production. For example, the 35s, yeah, we may be reaching something like, yeah, that looks like it's going to reach about 700 engines. Which is actually, yeah, that's not too bad, that'll do for the time being. And what we really need to take a look at first and foremost then is actually the R&D. Now this is something where at least we can experiment a little bit more, take some of the lessons learned here and apply them to play-by-email scenario. Now, these are larger because at this point I really wasn't entirely sure what I was doing with these. We do have some of these plans in place, which is not too bad. What we're going to do then is we're actually going to increase the R&D here, bring it up to appropriate levels. Right, initial expansion of 3, and then we'll take that up to a total of 30. There we go. Well, that one's a little bit over. I should be clicking on this one soon, not this one. There we go. Okay. Not a huge amount of supplies here. Now some of the R&D is starting to come online, so we do need to take advantage of this. There we go. What's up, Sam? How are you doing, my friend? Nice to see you again. We'll have this converted to a J2M2 jack as well. Okay. And the economic situation here in this Japan isn't great. We did burn a lot of resources, so we do need to get the numbers back up. The numbers are starting to increase once again. We go over to resources here. Well, industry, sorry. We'll take a look at the actual history of Honshu. So we can see here, I mean, we're quite a few turns into this campaign, so this is very interesting information. It's very good. We can use a lot of this information in the other campaign. You can see here, obviously, we started with over 4 million tons of resources. We're down. Our lowest point was here at turn 118, 397,000 tons. So, actually, no, sorry, 386,000 tons. We've since started to increase that as we've actually increased the effectiveness of the convoy system. Really started to pump resources back into Japan. Now, of course, the industry expansion is going to continue to use more resources. We'll be able to get going. So there, Legacy, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, I only started about 4 minutes ago. Now, it's interesting to see that we aren't obviously using armament, so I could make some changes here. We do have 5,688 points of heavy industry. $14,130 overall. Okay. Obviously that's coming from a pool of 7,065. So we do have more industry here. We do have technically a resource surplus. Obviously need to work on the oil situation. So we do technically have the resources, we just need to actually get them to Japan. It's nice to have that. That's very, very nice. Okay. At current rates, we only really have resources for a couple of days in Japan. We will have to really make sure resources continue to head in here. Okay, the Toujos are progressing quite nicely. Very nicely. I really do wish you could sort this out into like army bombers, naval bombers, that sort of thing. That'd be very nice if we could do that. But we'll focus first and foremost on the A6M3As. That's expanded to 30, that's over expanded. So is this one as well. Not by too much though, thankfully. So I'll have this switched over to the A6M5. The variant. Beautiful. Now I'll do the same with this one actually. I'm only going to have 3 facilities on this. I'd rather have the one here that is continuing expansion, but before obviously it does expand any degree, I'll have that switched over to the A6M5C. Okay, let's expand that by another 10. Obviously that's a waste of resources there, but that's fine. I can deal with that. We don't have huge amounts of supplies here. Right. Two more. Okay. Right, that'll do for now. You have 45,000... Well, actually, that's... Is it 450,166 points of heavy industry? Nice. Take a look at the... I do need to increase the size of Tokyo. Just being worked on, which is nice. Okay. There's a lot of naval guard here. Heck of a lot. A lot of assault value there. I do have some troop transports. Okay. I'm going to send additional troops to Tokyo. Okay, we do have the APD. We also do have the troop transport here. Has some impressive capacity. Right, we're out of political points at the moment. We'll have you made ready. We may be able to transport that division out. Maybe. We'll take a quick look. No. That's fine, we can have that one moved around China. The campaign in China is actually going very well here. Also, we are making it all the way over here with our armoured forces. Additional armour is following up, as well as the infantry and artillery support. The 15th Division is heading out here to crush the Chinese here. We are looking pretty good here. We do have definitely superior numbers. And as such, we should actually consider a deliberate attack. The numbers here should be very much in our favour. Try and repel the Chinese from our things here. Now this is a difficult situation. We do have roughly equivalent to a division, well, weakened division strength. Yeah, that AV is very low. For the moment, we'll bombard. I'd rather have further forces here. Right, 45% expansion. In reality, I'd be better off stopping that. Yeah. It would be a waste of resources, but we'll expand that to level 6 and then no more after that. As we'll then have all resources then flow to Fusan. Toyohara is expanding too. Right, continuous supply. What I'm going to do then, just to make things easier for the time being, and also to increase the amount of resources flowing to Japan, is we'll have a large convoy. Obviously some of these ships are at different speeds. But I'm happy to accept 14 knots. I do need to increase the amount of resources flowing into Japan. It's going to be an extremely large convoy. But it will carry a good amount, almost 200,000 tons of resources into Japan. Do the Allies ever damage oil refineries before you take them? Historically, the Allies sabotaged some of the refineries in East Indies before they were captured so they couldn't be used by the Japanese. I'd imagine they'd be taken with damage. I don't know if they would be, like, heavily damaged, but I'd wager so. We do have our forces finally landing here on Sumatra. We'll see what we can do here. These forces are obviously on the march, though it's going to take them some time to arrive, but this should be quite good. Now, this is the ultimate scenario here, really, just to see how difficult it is going to be to take for. It's a shame I have shipping engineers that would be very useful elsewhere. AV is not exactly great. Okay. The planning, though, continues to increase, which is going to be extremely important. I do have destroyer minesweepers here. They're currently on mission. We did lose a few of them previously. Now, we do have this group, which is pretty much out of fuel. Kidabutai is moving over here to link up with them. We'll share the fuel out and then have them head into a port together. Kidabutai is definitely lacking fuel. Now, I do have Nagata, Mutsu, Fuso, Yamashiro, Ise, Hyuga, as well as a multiple number of heavy cruisers, light cruisers, and destroyers. This is actually a fairly strong force here, definitely on the surface. Hopefully you can capture the refineries with as little damage as possible. Yeah, that's very true. What is your fuel like? You definitely have fuel enough for the time being. What we're going to do then is we're going to have you basically set on a patrol. Currently have a destination, so we'll change that. You're going to patrol around here for the time being. Then again. I'm trying to think where we could use them. Yeah, imagine if I head towards Palembang. If I could actually make it up the river here, that we would probably be ripped apart by mines. It's a very difficult scenario. I do need the battleships in the area. We'll have them operate here for the time being. Now, we are pulling back from Bataan. Bataan is a absolute hellhole. Definitely something that we do not want THG to be doing in the play-by-email game. But the thing is, obviously, with this, not bother. Hero has been repaired, which is fantastic. Uh-huh. That's a very nice number of A6 and 2s there. Now, Kagi could handle that. Obviously, Kagi's not within range. Would split the group out. Let's see, can we resize the squadron on Hero? You will be changing July 26, 1942. Oh, see, we've learned a lot since then, haven't we? Terrible. Okay. We're still currently loading troops. We'll take those into China, sorry. Those engineers will definitely come in handy. Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yeah. Definitely yes. I say solid, solid yes. But this is it, it's the learning experience. Okay. This is out of fuel. Like, things like this will not happen. Right, you're gonna head to Tokyo. See, the play-by-email will obviously be the best thing. Mostly because it's been a major, well, major incentive to really learn. Mostly because we have a human opponent to play against, which is definitely going to be a greater challenge. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to try and see what we can fix here. We'll continue this. I don't know, we might put it up to a vote. As it may come to a point where the play-by-email surpasses it in actual date. But we'll see. We have a lot of lessons that can be learned here. We could use this, obviously, to try and arrest the actual decline in the economy. The economy has significantly declined. We'll try and fix that. The amount of resources in Japan itself is increasing, overall. But it should never have got to this point. Right, loading has been completed. Good resources are on the way. Okay. We'll fold the cargo ships into this one just to make it easier. Right, I'm going to actually have you head up to Oyahara. fold them in together. Hmm. Right, things will work out here. We'll verify that load. That load. Yeah, we need more supply here. Definitely need more. So waiting to capture this. Now, considering that they're trying to be very strategic, there's no rail here. Put them all to the same objective. Now the armor, considering there may be no resistance here, not entirely sure. Very much hope that there's no resistance. Now, I don't want to cross that. We're going to head back to the base here. Those Chinese forces will starve out there in the field. Combat and defend. Defend here as well. Okay, so we're going to progress the turn here just to see how things turn out. We want to try and get a measure of the campaign again. I mean, this campaign can be fixed. If we arrest the decline of the economy, production of engines is already increased, which is very good. We do need that. We'll take a look at the actual aircraft production. I think we're currently producing between like between 5 and 6 A6M2 a day, which is pretty okay. Well, I'll do. Well, the campaign in China is going well, which is definitely helping us. Right, best unloading. But if we capture the island there, at least that'll be a decent springboard for us. Okay, so we definitely have activity of allied submarines. Definitely what we would expect in that area. We'll retire Kitabutai from the area, have them link up with Hiro. Yeah, have them link up with Hiro outside of Hong Kong. Have Kitabutai made ready again. And now it's actually hitting. Oh, wow. Very effective here, very effective work. Yeah, we may actually have a submarine kill. Not a bad way to start. That's some heavy damage though, well, supposedly. Very nice. So how many days will you do today? I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to get a measure of the campaign again. I think this is the same submarine as previously. But if it's been damaged, it should be subjected to further damage here. Yeah, there we go. She's definitely not having a good time here. At least this is definitely going to be good practice. We'll be able to gain a measure of how difficult we can sort of expect the Dutch East Indies to be. It's definitely going to be wow, that's a lot of hits there. It's definitely going to be significantly harder in the live campaign. You just not go down, however, yet. Does the game have historical events? No. I don't know how it works with, obviously, like, Yamamoto. Obviously, he did die historically. I don't know if he'll be simply retired from command. I don't know how the game really treats those events, really. Potentially so. Yeah, the air forces in China are definitely something that needs work. We were trying to rectify that situation, obviously, as we did, I did realise about aviation sports. Luckily, these are mistakes that we won't repeat. I'm not particularly sure. It's a good question. It's a really good question. Okay, they're retiring from the area. Seems I should have set them to stay on station. That's my bad. Not particularly the worst thing ever. Yeah, this is the issue, the heavy amount of B-25 Mitchell. So they're approaching about 9,000 feet. Okay, so the Allies are starting to bomb Osthaven. Obviously, they're attacking the fleet there. They're approaching from Batavia. Oh, Batavia, sorry. What was that? Yeah, 50 kilogram bomb. It's not exactly the most damaging thing. Again, I really don't want to get hit by a bomb either way. Yeah, that's how we'll do with those Chinese forces across the river there. I don't want to have my infantry go across the river. They would more than likely win the assault there, but it's going to be a lot of casualties sustained. Yeah, so it's good to be curious. And it's like, if I can get to the point in the game when I can answer that question, then I'd be glad to tell you. But as at this moment in time, I actually do not know the answer. Good question. Good question. Okay. Now, we were definitely expecting losses here to the actual land-in forces, but they've done their job. Osthaven has been taken. What they're doing at the moment is unloading the supplies that are necessary to obviously complete the invasion. It's a small force, really, to march. We will have to, well, reinforce them relatively quickly. You can learn a lot of information here by taking a look at the actual altitude. Yeah. Nukes are in the game mode. Okay, so what altitude were they flying at? 18,000 feet then. We'll have our Zero's flight 20. Yeah, see, the Allies obviously started to use their air power here now. A little bit too late, though. That was a destroying minesweeper. So, still dangerous, but not as dangerous as a full-blown destroyer. Okay, forces continue to move in China. Okay, yeah. Okay, well. I somewhat underestimated the forces at Yichang. Yeah. Right, I can see why I wasn't contemplating just, well, a deliberate attack beforehand. That's a lot of Chinese troops. That is a lot of Chinese troops. Yep. 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 Learned my lesson there. Holy moly. What about morale effects? To say losing a major city causes morale losses for the army or civil effects? Morale is in the game and fatigue is in the game. But whether objectives lost really impacts on that one, I can't be too certain. It's good questions. They really are good questions. It's definitely a very deep game. It's one of the most complex games out there. But those questions I can't answer as of this moment, as to whether certain objectives lost do impact on morale. Interesting. Obviously, defeats definitely do impact on morale. Supplies impact on morale as far as I'm concerned. I think if, obviously, they do not have supplies consistently, their morale is damaged, and obviously fatigue increases. I mean, this campaign's a very interesting one to really watch, and due to the fact that we can obviously like rectify a lot of mistakes that we made here in the actual play-by-email campaign. The play-by-email campaign is actually definitely a hell of a lot more, well, quality. Well, these are questions that I can't actually answer as of yet, so actually might be worthwhile going through this one just to learn. Oh dear, no, it was like maybe like 5 or 6 to be fair. It's not so bad. I've learned a hell of a lot, to be fair. And I hope I've actually helped a lot of people learn too. I can by no means like an actual like professional when it comes to this game. You just learn, I suppose. I've got more incentive than most due to the fact that obviously when you do all the things, it does help you to concentrate, I find anyway. You're obviously completely on this task. Right, I imagine the Chinese may eject us? No, they do not. They do lose casualties, we take none, which is very nice. Yeah, we do have the train on our side, we do have the leaders on our side. Preparation experience isn't great, but we are looking to be there. Reinforcements are on the way, obviously. Okay, troop numbers are looking pretty decent. Probably out them. Okay, reinforcements have arrived. Once infantry does arrive, I will go for a deliberate attack. And then we could probably push on to Kueyang. Okay, interesting turn, interesting turn. Yeah, hard survive for... so bad. I'm trying to get hard survive free to work at the moment, really. Laddie, it just does not seem to want to work. That's what annoys me about Paradox games. It's like, for some reason, they will just stop working at certain points. It really pisses me off. It's like, my Crusader Kings 2 won't launch, and Hard Survive 3 won't launch at the moment. I was thinking, like, doing, like, a Hard Survive 3, like, Black Ice campaign, maybe again. Or, like, just doing, like, a live stream, like, one-time thing, something like that. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it bloody working at the moment. Pain in the arse. We've had additional forces arrive. This is something that will be taking a hell of a lot more of a closer eye at. Is obviously the arrival of new forces in Japan and how to use them. Now, we do have multiple units in Naval Guard, and these are very decent units. 80 assault value is definitely nothing to laugh at. Well, this is the average of cargo, 60 assault value, I should say. But I will take the infantry group. Actually, never mind, that's too large. And again, so you, let's see, do we have anything here to aid us? What ships do we actually have in Tokyo? Not much. We do have some cruiser mine layers, and coastal, yeah, okay. Sweepers. Nothing majorly good here. What I need to do then is actually take their troop transports that are over here. Right, you're idle now for the moment. Right, head back to Port Arthur. You're unloading your supplies, so resources, that's good. You're unloading engineering units, very nice. Okay. Oh, Salty, you should really take a look at the actual play-by-email campaign. That's the one where I've really got things down. It's like this was the initial single-player campaign, and we've learned a lot since then. Yeah, sure. It's definitely not been an arse. It's a good question. It's a very good question. So, in the single-player campaign, how things have progressed, and it's a good question. So in China, we are making some good progress. We have captured the Changsha Basin, as I've named it, basically these cities here, which is very nice. As you can see here, for example, the city of Changsha produces 80 resources. How resources work out is, for example, resource centers, I should say. So we'd have like 80 resource centers here. So the resources they produce is times by 20. So you get, from one resource center, you get 20 resources a day. So obviously we do have 14,790 resource centers, producing 295,800 tons of resources every single day. Now, we do have a surplus of 3,030 resources from what we use, theoretically. So obviously we need to get these resources into Honshu, basically into Japan itself, to actually have that then converted to the heavy industry as well as the light industry, which then produces supply, which is then used by other facets, such as the army, the R&D, the Navy, the Air Forces. But yeah, that's a good thing here. Out of everything in China that we don't really already control, these cities are really the things that are only worthwhile. It's like over here at Chuqing, this would be very, very good. But to get there is going to take a lot of blood and pain. But heavy industry would be superb. So for example, light industry is local, but heavy industry is global. So the heavy industry that we capture here at Changsha actually benefits the Empire at large, rather than just local area. Now, Indochina, obviously we already stopped that under control, as well as Thailand. We should really be looking at pushing into Burma at some point soon. The Malaya campaign went well, and well, not really. The issue with the Malaya campaign is we didn't have all our forces moving as they should have been. Some forces were stuck at Patani, as that's not actually on the rail network. So what we need to do is actually move those forces from Patani to Singapore, where they could then move via the rail system. We did suffer a lot of losses over here at Singapore, due to the fact that when I actually ordered the assault on Singapore, all the units were not marched as one, so some of them arrived earlier than others, which led to a catastrophic loss there. Now we can see that we do have a damaged unit here. That's instead going to dock. I'm not going to have it move. If it moves, it dies. So cancel that, you stay here. Our forces continue to move out. Return to port to replenish. Okay. I'll allow it. Then return to Hong Kong to rearm. Should they? Do we have fuel enough to make it? Head to Kamlan Bay. You'll need to take fuel on, then you'll head to Hong Kong. I am loading fuel here. We do have a decent number, well, a decent amount of fuel already. It's very dangerous to do, so we do have Hosho Taiyo. We do have multiple other things here, well, multiple other forces. Do you play decisive campaigns Barbarossa? If so, have you considered streaming it sometime in the future? I did one episode, like, a long time ago, and then it's like, I was like, wait a minute, I'm already doing a War of These campaign, I should really finish that before I start the decisive campaigns. I might do a Barbarossa stream at some point in the future. I'm not very familiar with those sorts of games, I really do suck at those kind of hex games. But that could be fun. That could be quite a like little fun sort of like stream to do. I've decided I'm going to try and like do more like hangout streams, as I suppose I could call them. Like I did one last night was like just playing Battlefield Gothic. So I think maybe doing streams like that every now and then, just bring new games to the channel. Like the channel has pretty much been Gary Grigsby based for a long while now, and it's not a bad idea. It's like what I need to do as well is actually upload the videos I've done while I've been streaming for Matrix, and have them to the channel, just so it doesn't look as dead, just so it brings some variety to the actual channel as well. But also, I think, yeah, I think we could do a decisive campaigns Barbarossa stream. That'd be fun. That would be quite cool. I really do like how they have that moral breakpoint there in the game. It's very, very interesting. The Dirt War's very interesting. I like the decision-making system as well. It's really cool. Very much like that. Okay. Going to meet with Kitaputai, and then you can refuel them. Refuel? Too bad. The rest, but they need fuel. Okay, our forces are obviously on the march. Once these forces arrive back in Manila, what we'll then do is have them sent down here, or whether we have actual transport units in the area that may be able to reach. We do have a transport there as well, some cargo ships, but I can't really take them to Manila due to obviously the fact that they'll get blown out of the water. I could have them transported to the north here, but that would be something of a waste of fuel. So what we'll do is we'll have them transported down here. We do have only a small amount of supplies, however. Yeah, we'll have to gather transports. Yeah, the decisions are really interesting. Really interesting. So as I was saying, explain the situation. So, we have managed to land troops over here at Sumatra. Now what we'll be doing in the play-by-email campaign is actually pretty much following this method. What I'm doing here is, well, in the actual play-by-email campaign is we are just landing our forces over in Malaya, and with about maybe like 1 or 2 days into the Malayan invasion, we have dedicated a secondary invasion to land at Mersing. So what we're going to try to do in the play-by-email campaign is actually land forces at Mersing to cut this railroad here. Now what that will hopefully do is stop forces of the British Empire actually retreat into Singapore. But what I plan on doing is actually just pretty much ignoring Singapore for the most part. It's a naval fortress, it's a fortress in general, and yeah, I'd rather not waste the men and manpower. So what we'll do in the actual play-by-email campaign is actually bypass Singapore, land straight really towards Sumatra or Java. So there, Rez, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, we're just spending about an hour today, just looking at your single-player campaign, as I said I would do. Okay, yes, we have learned the lesson there. Do not deliberate attack. That's been learned the hard way. It sacked a lot of that assault value, but hopefully it might encourage the Chinese to attack. At least at that point we might be able to inflict some pretty good losses on them. Things are moving out rather interestingly. The infantry is obviously marching. Our forces here of the 15th Division have reached their destination, so they will go in for the shock attack to actually try and defeat these forces here. Men are moving, which is very good. The 21st and the 35th Division, along with these other Chinese forces, should be able to make the difference. The thing is, these Chinese forces are absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. Now, these guys actually aren't too bad. I might be speaking wrong about these. This might actually be a Japanese unit, to be fair. Is it Japanese? Oh no, this is Chinese. This is actually one of the few Chinese units that are actually pretty decent then. With that sort of morale and experience. Actually not too bad. Experience is very low, but the morale is very high. That may be due to the fact of victories. Intriguing. Perhaps it may be just an actual fact of just winning these battles, and I'd imagine that's why their experience is higher. Right, so we will launch a deliberate attack here. We'll tell them to plan, obviously, for this objective, increase their ability, really. But for the most part, Chinese forces obviously far inferior to the Japanese forces. Make sure they're all set to that. Right. That's all? Good, good. We did drive the Chinese forces off here. Which is a good thing. Still trying to bait them out. They do have a great number of men here. Multiple ships sighted. Anchor supposedly here as well. Moving southwest. What's up, Layup? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, so allow Kitabutai, as well as obviously the battleship forces to return to Hong Kong. How many supplies do we have here? We have, yeah, that's... that's plenty of supplies. Aviation support is actually present. Very good, very good. So in reality, I'd be better off actually moving the A6720s over to the airfield at Osthaven. Let's see, how many are actually ready? None of them are ready here. That's a shame. Also, they've taken a hell of a lot of crap. We'll tell them to stand down. At the end of the day, they can't afford to leave anyway. They need to be repaired. Really just taken out of the situation. That's good to hear, man. Okay, how long until these forces actually retreat? We're all set to combat. Not too far now. They'll probably be back in Manila maybe in like 1 or 2 days. Okay. We do have forces landed at Sumatra. It will be interesting to see how well defended Panambang is. Be very interesting. Also, these forces are marching up over here as well. We'll have to see how we manage the situation. I'm very hesitant around these rivers. So if we do spy enemy forces, we will have to go around ideally. Well, only a case where we'll do otherwise is if we have overwhelming strength, but we can't be certain of our intelligence. Yeah, this is something that will never repeat again, which is basically the real bad management of the economics. Okay. So I don't have too particularly much time at the moment. Kind of have to go and get something to eat soon. I'm pretty damn hungry. So what we'll do here is we'll pass another day. We'll see how things go. I think the situation at the moment really regards, well, revolves around Kiributai. We'll have Kiributai head back along with the actual battleship group there. They'll head back to Hong Kong where they can meet up with Hero. We'll take a look at reinforcing Akaki. Akaki could apparently handle enough squadron of 8620, which would be very nice. And then what we're going to do is use that air power, try and subdue Singapore that way. She will give in time. She's probably not particularly happy at the moment. As far as I'm aware, industry does not produce when there's enemy units within the hex. As far as I'm aware, but whether that's true or not, I'm not entirely sure. So, ideally they should have been eating away their resources slowly but surely. I think with some sufficient power in the area, we should be able to take Singapore. But it would be very nice to actually use that air supremacy from a renewed Kiributai down to establish, obviously as I mentioned, air supremacy by Sumatra. If that's not a good sign there, that the patrol boat was obliterated. Yeah, obliterated. That's definitely the word for it. Considering this one's actually taking damage, that's rather impressive. So it seems here the damage was not as reported or nowhere near as bad. Yes, and she goes down. But patrol boats are only patrol boats. They're a dime a dozen for the most part. At least the poorer models are. Okay. The Jakes are very nice search planes. That's something that we'll really have to pay more attention to in the by email. Is really trying to actually get the, well, better seaplanes out there onto the actual ships. I think what we'll do then is really have probably a couple of weeks out at sea and try and bring Kiributai back, maybe potentially in waves. Though obviously it would be a better idea to probably take the carrier, well, the escort carriers, have them actually ferry like those sorts of replacement squadrons out in the Pacific. Yeah, that's exactly the point. It's like, I don't know everything about the game. It's like I've made mistakes. Like, this campaign definitely has a lot of mistakes that somebody is definitely better than the, well, definitely better at the game than me would be like, Jesus Christ, what have you done? But this is it. It's like, we actually took this campaign, and we've learned from this campaign, and we've used those lessons in the Play by Email campaign. So we've come back to this one, and we'll try to put those lessons that we've learned here as well. So that's going to be interesting. The Baal is quite an important base. Why didn't you take it? Well, see, this is it. It's like, I will take it at some point in the future. And as it goes for Rabal in the Play by Email campaign, it will be a target, but it's going to be one of those of a target of opportunity for the while. Well, for the most part. As far as it goes for Australia, in this campaign we did actually destroy quite a decent amount of the Australian Navy. Really, for Rabal, it's to control, was it the Bismarck Sea? I think it's the Bismarck Sea. Yeah, we'll take it at some point in the future. As I said, really, it's like a target of opportunity at the moment. It's really trying to gather the forces necessary. I would like to have carrier support for that, though, as of course we don't know where Lexington is, or any of the American carriers are at the moment, so they could come out of anywhere, really. That's up there, Patrick. How you doing, my friend? Ah, dude, you should be concentrating on your class. No. Can't blame you, though. I'll not be streaming too much longer. I'm honestly famished. Oh dear. And the stream's about an hour long anyway, so you're about to catch up with that one. I was up pretty late last night actually working on like a Dark Heresy 2 character. It's like I'm looking to actually DM a game for my friends soon enough. So I've got a session for them tomorrow, which is going to be the character creation. I really do like the Dark Heresy 2 system. It's definitely different to like Dungeons and Dragons like 5e. But see, this is the thing, it's like when I play 5e with my friends, it's like I'm very much like a mechanics player. It's like, see, I'm not very good at roleplay. It's like I find it very, I don't know, I'm just not that much of a role player character as such. I'm very, very interested more in the mechanics of things. I do enjoy so very much. Like, I think I enjoy character creation more than anything just because I like to look at what's available and look at what can be done with it. So actually taking a look at the Dark Heresy 2 system has actually been rather intriguing. I really do like it. I think it's definitely different and I like that sort of freshness. Like, I've been trying to get my group to actually start playing like Pathfinder. The other thing is I bloody bought the Pathfinder book just as a Pathfinder 2. Bloody test was announced. I'm like, shit, I just bought this book and I'm just wasting my money now. Of course it's not a waste of money as obviously Pathfinder 2 will not be out for some time. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about getting into Dark Heresy 2. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, what I wanted to do is actually learn how to GM it. I've never GM'd before, so it will be interesting. So I'll try and get them in it, and then what I was thinking is, like, see how it goes in my group, get them into it, obviously learn it myself, and then I'd be looking probably to, like, GM a few games over on the actual channel. It would be rather interesting. It'd be nice, actually, probably playing with, like, viewers, or, like, even some of the, like, creators. That'd be quite fun. But I really do love 4K. I always love that. What's up, AT? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, let's see, I'll show you in a few moments. Yeah, I'll be streaming Armored Brigade tomorrow. That'll be about 6 o'clock, I do believe. Yeah, no, right. Now, I made my characters make sense. I think it's one of those things, it's like an actual sort of mindset, isn't it? It's just like how people really operate, how they think. It's like I do get into my characters. Like, my favourite character, and it's one that I really do miss now, his name was, what was his name now? Corvus Page Flick. He was a Kenku Warlock, my first character, and he was really fun. It's like, he was like chaotic, I think it was like chaotic neutral, or, yeah, I think it was like chaotic neutral. So, like, he definitely became like a very zany character. It's like, I really took it to a point where, okay, he's definitely out there. And then it's like I started making a thing where he would basically consume the eyes of fallen enemies. And it became a thing where I tried to convince everybody and anybody in any given place that it was generally like a normal thing for like Kenku to eat eyes and it should not be frowned upon. And it was actually funny, it's like, it was one time, the actual first time I tried that, it's like, the GM's like, okay, right, strange, but roll for it. So I rolled a freaking natural 20, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, wow, you just consume those eyes like they were nothing, like, okay, yeah, that's a thing. And then it's like, I had a familiar, so I'd gone, like, Pact of the book, can't remember what it's called exactly. But then I had like a familiar, which was a crow. So it was a giant crow with a crow on its like shoulder. And see, this is the thing. It's like I know nothing about football. I'm really not a football fan, but I decided to call him John Terry. So I had Corvus Page Flick and his well, his crow familiar John Terry. We got into like some interesting situations. Now, the actual way the character disappeared, basically, Corvus is still technically live, but somewhere else. Like, I'd changed Warlock patrons. Initially, I had been with, like, the Outer Gods, I can't remember what it's called. But I was like, this isn't too great. So I decided to go ahead and like ask the GM if I could like go for like a homebrew one. Ended up taking one which was actually kind of pointless as well, because it's like I could actually research stuff from like a out-of-dimensional library. I had to like go there alone, and my GM didn't make it very easy to use that. So yeah, like basically, two of the main leads of the party, they got like magic items on them, where basically if they travelled more than 100 feet apart, they would both die, supposedly. So like my character like disappears into like this dimensional library, and then I like start saying to the guys, right, okay, he's like playing Eye of the Tiger, he's like pumping iron, he's basically lifting books, he's doing this research. It's like you could learn basically anything in this dimensional library, but if you failed the roll, you'd gain a level of fatigue. So I had like I had like 4 levels of fatigue. I'm like basically on my arse at the moment, still pumping some iron, and then it's like I do finally find like an answer. And then it's like, I'm like called away by this voice, and then my character disappeared. I'm like, damn it. This is getting fun. Yeah, I play Lawful Evil way too much. Basically, the majority of my characters are Lawful Evil, also screw Lawful Guilds. Oh dear. Yeah, it's interesting trying to be good, but it's like, I just inherently make, morally ambiguous characters. That's, like, I'm trying to learn how to, like, roleplay better to, like, be a good character, but it definitely takes a lot of work. Which is why I'm definitely looking forward to the Dark Heresy. At least then I can, like, really unleash that sort of, like, darkness. Oh, dear. Okay, ship sank there. Looks like they were actually trying to pull out of Osthaven. Can't blame them. Okay, we have engineers moving down to Futon. Right, good, they can actually assist in the loading of ships as well as the expansion of the port there. Okay, so we can see the 86 Chinese core, 86 Chinese core is the only one that's really a problem there. We do have sufficient force to handle that. The issue is we do have a few divisions in the area, but they are spread out, so we do need to bring them together to concentrate their power. But it won't take us too long to actually deal with these Chinese forces. Yeah, shock attack. That definitely will finish them. The 15th will then move on up. Yeah, goodbye to the 45th. Continue to retreat, that's pain in the arse. That's fine. They're doomed anyway, they can't really present much of a threat. They did lose 917 casualties. They did well to actually inflict 92 upon our forces here. They were completely outnumbered. Okay, deliberate attack. I have some good confidence in this. We are going to take casualties, but at the end of the day, we have got to beat them down. Otherwise, we'll never uproot them. Okay, yep, the attack's going well. I'd imagine another attack or two. So, yeah, they're forced out of the area. Fantastic. But then we'll continue to chase them down and head towards Wenchao. Interesting though, as our forces seem to be alone here. They did sustain 2,957 casualties. I did sustain 1,691 casualties. These numbers aren't exactly huge anyway. I can replace these numbers. That's good. We achieved the goal there of having them forced out of the actual settlement. Now, I do need some more power here, really. All of our forces under strength. It's like we'd need maybe an additional 2 to 3 divisions to really have enough power to really go for it. Lawful could be like, we got to have morals and stuff. Me, okay, how do we... yeah, that's it. I like that. Yeah, Britannia is a pain. Way too many forces there. Total victory in China when? Well, we are making good progress. I think we may actually be able to defeat the Chinese completely one day. I think it really revolved around actually cutting the road. But we are making good progress. Ideally, we can match this sort of progress in the actual play-by-email campaign. Okay. Our armor has definitely dug us in there. Do quite a lot there. Yeah, 228 vehicles. That's a hell of a lot of vehicles. I could probably defeat those forces. Ah, dear. Yeah, Singapore is one of those where probably should have gone the turn before and actually stopped all the movement and had them made the movement together, as the Imperial Guard Division took a lot of losses. But I suppose at the end of the day, we do have troops on. Well, yeah, very true. Though it's interesting because, like, DHG is moving troops in ways that will be very beneficial to me. Such as the fact as these moving troops across a river, which will trigger assault attacks, which is great for me. If he assaults my Japanese forces, which are obviously entrenched, well, dug in to some degree, at least in place and actually on the defensive, then I should be able to inflict grievous casualties upon his men. First increasing the experience and morale of my own forces, and first reducing the actual morale of his own, making them weaker and easier to roll over. We'll see how we go. But yes, this is all I have time for at the moment, because yeah, I really need to go and get something to eat. Indeed. But yeah, thank you so very much for watching, guys. I will take the advice, actually. I suppose advice is the wrong word. I'll take the idea of a Barbarossa stream. That could be quite fun. So until next time, guys, thank you so very much for watching. And we'll continue to have little episodes like this. Try and really fix the situation here, but the play-by email will be the main focus. As of course I do need to get that going, as there's a lot of people waiting for that. But yes, thank you so very much. Thank you all of you for actually continuing to watch this series. And do let me know what your thoughts are on it, and where should we go in the future. Till next time, goodbye to you all, and thank you to those of you in the actual chat. I might stream later on, we'll see. Goodbye.